It is so ridiculous. Hey guys, Michael here again from GuitarGate.com, and I want to talk about something that is pretty out of the box for most of you. I think most of us, tend to think, okay, this song's major and this song's minor, and we got a scale for each chord. We know which kind of key it's in. We got our boxes, we got our shapes, whatever, and we have a tendency to, when we play outside, we either don't know what that means, meaning sometimes we go a half step up or a half step below, which is fine because you get that sound, or you try to find some jazzier scale which fits over everything that's got some outside notes or whatever. But the approach that I like to take quite often, especially if you're doing a lot of country, a lot of blues, a lot of stuff where blue notes fly, is just straight up mixing your major and minor thirds, just irrespective of the chord, making everything basically major for a little bit and minor for a little bit. And the way to do that is to remember that the major third always wins. So what does that mean? What does that mean when the major third always wins? Basically, without going too deep, a higher note always holds a little more value than a lower note. It's just kind of the way it is. A major seventh, the leading tone, always pushes back home a little more than the flat seven, right? A major third really needs to be resolved stronger than a minor third. So when you're mixing major and minor, the key is, one, do you know where your thirds are? And two, can you create tension with the minor third and resolve with the major third? Because your major third is always going to win. Doesn't matter whether you're soloing over a minor chord or a major chord. Whenever the major third is introduced, it's always going to fundamentally outweigh the minor chord or the minor third. So check this out. Here's an example. So let's say, and I'm not doing this with a backing track. I'd like you to try this without a backing track to see if you can hear it. Here's a simple example, right? Let's say I'm in A minor, our basic pattern 2 box. Again, doesn't matter whether I'm in a minor chord, dominant, major, or whatever. Let's say I start with this simple pattern 4 minor pentatonic box. You all know it, right? Now do a little lick. Right? Now, that is all minor. That will work over a minor chord. That will also work over a dominant chord or a major chord if you're thinking bluesy, right? Because remember, the minor third is below. But where are your thirds in here? You got one right here. There's your minor third. Right there. That's your big tone. That's your big one. That's your minor third. And you also have down here. When you get down into the mud, it'll get harder to pull off. Your mid zone is basically your target, but your high stuff works extremely well too. So, remember, your major third is a half step above your minor third. So if here's your minor third, there's your major third. If here's your minor third, here's your major third, right? So major, minor, right? Same deal up here. Minor, major, minor, major. So when you have a little lick, try to tag it at the end with the major third. Make the major third bring it home, and you'll hear that it really brightens it up, right? Did you hear that? Listen to it again. All I did was play a little minor lick, and at the very end, tag it with major. Try it in the upper register, right? Right? I'm doing there is I'm just switching to major for a second at the end. You got to let your phrases kind of determine when it makes sense or not. You can't just do it all the time, but you just want to keep thinking in your head that the major third always wins. So whenever you're reestablishing tonality, right? Whenever you want to bring it back in the pocket the most, just switch back to major. And little food for thought for all you seasoned improvisers out there, usually in blues, people switch back to major over the 5 chord. Because you know why? 5 wants to go home. And remember, the major third always wins, the higher note always wins, because that's the note that needs to be resolved. So when you're playing your country stuff, when you're playing your blues stuff, and you're getting stuck in the boxes, and you're trying to find a way to go outside, 1, find out where your thirds are. 2, mess around with your major and minor thirds. Think minor for your blue note. But 3, remember the major third always wins, so that's how you bring it home. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next one.